We're halfway through the year, so now is the perfect time to take a 1,000-foot view of what's coming up in the next 6 months in your business. But how do you do that if you just don't know? Now, let me back up. I know none of us actually know. We don't have that crystal ball that tells us exactly what's coming up in the next 6 months. But for some of us, we might truly be in a season of unknown. Maybe you're in a business pivot. Maybe you're about to enter into a new season of life, either personally or professionally, and you're really unsure about what the next 6 months hold. How do you set goals when you feel the unknown? In today's video, I want to share some encouragement and some tips with you if that is how you're feeling. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kat, biz coach and integrator for creatives, helping you make dreams and dailies happen. And today's video is really close to my heart. I am in a season of unknown right now. I'm pregnant with our third baby. Actually, by the time this video goes live, the baby will be here, right? I'm filming this ahead of time because we're expecting her arrival. So I am 100% in a season of unknown. This is our third child, our third kid under 4. What are we even doing? Lord help us. I know he will. But I'm entering into a season of unknown. So when I'm looking at my own business and planning for the next 6 months, it feels kind of wonky. It feels a little weird. And my type A personality doesn't like that. Maybe you're feeling the same way. Maybe you're about to move. Maybe you're experiencing a business pivot. Maybe you've got some new projects up in the air for the business. And so you feel this weight of unknown pressing so heavily on you that any sort of goal setting, any sort of what's ahead makes you feel stressed out. If that's you, bear with me, okay? We are in this season together. It is just a season, and we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But I do want to share some practical tips with you because even though you're in a season of unknown, you still want to have some strategy with what you're doing and what you're not doing in your business. So, how do you move forward when you're just not sure where to start? I've got two tips for you. Number one, you're going to want to do a mid year review. I talked about that in our last video. I do have a worksheet available for you guys. So if you would like to work through the mid-year review process, I think that would be really helpful, specifically if you're in a season of unknown, because the last 6 months, you do know. It allows you to focus a little bit more on, okay, what has been more concrete, what is a little bit more tangible. So take a step back by reflecting back on the last 6 months, and that's going to help you be able to move forward. So grab that free worksheet below and go ahead and get started doing your mid-year review soon. The second thing you're going to want to do is, I kind of already said it, but you're going to want to focus on what you do know. See, there is a lot of unknown. There's a lot of things up in the air and you're just not sure, but there are going to be some things that you do know. Whenever I'm setting goals in the business, I always talk about 4 things. And this is what I want to preach to you, okay? You always want to look at 4 key components: time, money, dreams, and dailies. These are foundational for any sort of goal setting or strategic planning in your business. And for you right now, time and money are the most concrete. Dreams and dailies are the things that you don't know yet. Maybe because the dream is a new, like going to be new and it's an interesting pivot, and the daily, for me, baby number 3, what is that even going to look like? I'm not sure. But I do know that I feel a little bit more secure thinking about time and money. So let's talk about those for a minute. Even in the unknown, when it comes to time, you have an educated guess on what that's going to look like. For me, even in the unknown of time, baby number 3, less time for me, I have an educated guess based on the current season of our life with our current children and our current business model. What is time going to mean? And so I can start to think about and lean into what I do know about time. So ask yourself that same question. What is your educated guess on the current time that you have? You're going to want to think about what's on your plate, what's not on your plate. How full does your current plate feel? And if it feels too full, is there something that can be removed? Now, when we jump into money, money is really critical because money is how you run a profitable business. So we're weighing time and money together. So do that mid-year review and take a look back at the last 6 months. And money is a key component in that review. And now you're going to have a better understanding of where you are financially in your business right now. You're also going to want to ask yourself, how does revenue look for the second half of the year? Have you already hit your 2022 financial goals? Are you close to hitting those goals? What is money looking like? Time and money are critical and foundational when it comes to setting goals. So, even if you're not in a season of unknown, I would tell you to start with time and money. But specifically, when you are in a season of unknown, those are the two things that you can make much more educated guesses on what is working and what isn't working in the current state of your business. Now, I mentioned a little bit ago that whenever I'm goal planning, I'm thinking about four key components. So, not just time and money, but I'm also looking at dreams and dailies. Dreams and dailies are likely the pieces that feel the most stressful for you when you're in a season of unknown. Dreams are the projects, the new goals that you want to factor into the equation. So, my hope for you is that after you look at time and you look at money, you can see a dream or two that can factor into the equation and become a goal for you as you're moving ahead into the next 6 months. If you don't, though, that's okay. You don't have to have new dreams and new goals all the time. I'm going to say that again. You don't have to have new dreams and new goals all the time. And I'm saying that again because in our industry, it tends to feel like hustle, 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 more, more, more. Maybe that's just because I'm an Enneagram 3. I don't know. But that's the vibe I tend to get a lot. And I want you to know that you might be in a season of unknown where a dream doesn't make the most sense right now. And that's okay. But if it does, after you assess time and money, you might see where one fits well into the equation. And now daily is the micro of time. So time is that macro, like, okay, what's overall happening in the business? What client projects do you have? What is this season of life for your family? Is it the school year? Is it not the school year? What's your family rhythm? Like big picture time. Whereas daily is, okay, what happens every day, every week in your business? The daily for me is what feels more unknown because of baby number three. I can take a look at time as a big picture and I know like a round of about what's happening in the next 3 months. But the daily stuff is where I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have a newborn and like be nursing and have like client appointments and like all of these things going on. And holy moly. And that's okay, right? I have to lay my type A personality aside and know that daily is not going to feel as concrete right now because it is going to be a funky rhythm for the first few months of this little girl's life. I want to preach that to you too. Depending on this season of unknown, it might just be a funky rhythm, and that's okay too. Again, while time, money, dreams, and dailies, all four of them work together to create that goal to help you with that strategic plan in the season of unknown, time and money are the most critical. Dreams and dailies, they can be on the back burner a little bit more. I want to wrap up by sharing four pieces of encouragement for you if you are in that season of unknown and you're trying to think through time, money, dreams, and dailies. You're trying to process, like, okay, what does goal setting, strategic goal setting, actually look like for my business when you're in an unknown season? Okay, there are four motivational tips I want to share. Number one is being flexible. We should actually always be flexible with any plan, regardless of whether we're in a season of unknown or we're not in a season of unknown. But in the seasons of unknown, being flexible is key. When you don't know, you just don't know. And that's the reality of the situation. And there can be fear in that, but I'm choosing to lean into flexibility instead of fearability. That's not even a word, but you know what I'm saying, you guys. Like, I don't want to be fearful about what's coming ahead. I just want to learn how to be flexible and roll with the punches of the changes. Number two, you also want to have lots of grace. Just like being flexible with yourself, you also want to know that this is a season of unknown. So, while yes, I want you to put on that strategy hat and be excited about what's in store for your business, you also want to give yourself grace that certain things might not meet timelines or deadlines that you had initially had for yourself. For example, I was supposed to launch a course before this baby came. And I say like supposed to in the sense that I created that goal. I put that goal on the calendar for the business of when I wanted the course to go live. And I had to remove it. It was not feasible as we started getting closer to that launch. And I was thinking about just pregnancy things and nesting and getting the house ready, and then also client work and other things in the business that needed to happen for maternity leave. I had to be flexible and I had to give myself grace and knowing like what was most important and moving that course launch back. And in fact, words I never thought I would say, I currently just have like a tentative launch on the calendar, knowing that I might need to move it again because once she's here, Lord only knows, literally, the Lord only knows. So I'm saying that example to you so that you feel the freedom to give yourself grace in those seasons of unknown too. Number three, remember that it's just a season and this season will end. It might feel like it's going on forever and ever and ever. Hello, 2020. We all remember that, right? That was such a huge season of unknown for so many of us on so many different levels, but it ended. Right. And while, yes, there are still some repercussions of that, 2020 might be an extreme example. It was still just a season. And it's the same thing for you in this season of unknown. And the last thing I want you guys to remember is that it's okay to press pause. You can, in fact, stop the train. You are the CEO, you are in charge. So you could take a pit stop, you could take a detour, you could go from 50 miles an hour down to 5 miles per hour. You are in charge. So press pause when and where you need to press pause. A good friend of mine a couple of years ago gave me some great advice, and it was not business advice. She was a mentor for me spiritually, and she said, never make a big decision after 9 p.m. And that piece of advice has really stuck out to me, y'all. And I want to share that with you specifically for those of you in this season of unknown. You Everything feels like it's after 9 p.m. right now, right? Like you're tired and you're burnout and you're mentally and physically and spiritually exhausted and you're trying to figure out what's in store, but you just don't know. So that like after 9 p.m. feeling is pretty consistent. So don't feel like you have to make big life altering decisions right now. You can press pause if that's what you feel like you need to do. So if you're in a season of unknown, know that I am right there with you. I would love to encourage you. I would love to just hear more about your season. So leave me a comment with this video, or if there are other questions or ways that I can encourage or help you while you are facing this unknown, let me know. Thanks, y'all. I will see you guys soon.